Star Report. I'm your host, Star. It is Wednesday evening, late night. Welcome to the show. All right, the title, Witness says Austin Metcalf and brother tried to jump Karmelo Anthony. I've got what I think is some exclusive audio. Let me give you my source right now. The amazing Lucas on YouTube. He's a content creator. 3 hours ago, he posted a video. His video is titled Eyewitness Drops Bombshell. Austin and brother tried to jump Karmelo. So that's my source. I did reach out to him to see if it was okay to play his footage. I have not heard back from him since. So, I will play it and edit it out of my show. But that's my source. It sounds authentic to me, okay? It sounds authentic, and it makes sense to me. And this particular story, when it first came out, I was enjoying my weekend. As you guys know, yesterday was my first day back. And I was a little hesitant because I didn't feel that there was enough information. And thank you to those of you who, you're keeping me up to speed on it. Yesterday, I wasn't so quick to just kick in the back of the young man accused, Karmelo Anthony. For those of you who are new to the show, this is the objective perspective, okay? This is not a black show, and I'm not a Democrat. I just want to say that off the rip because so many people assume things just, based on, face value. I'm not so quick to defend what I consider to be degenerates, lowlifes, or subhumans. But in this particular case, I followed my gut feeling, my spidey senses, if you will. I was born and raised in the beautiful suburbs. Most of you know this already. Scotch Plains, New Jersey, born in 1964. So I grew up with very passive-aggressive people. I love this country. I'm a capitalist, and I usually vote conservative. But in this particular case, I wasn't sure if the narrative that was going around was what, most people are trying to make it out to be. Now, there are times when we have people who lash out. They don't know how to express themselves or articulate something, and they can be contentious or the aggressor. I didn't feel that in this particular case, and I may have even jumped out of the window last night, but I caught myself. So when I play the audio, please listen carefully. The guy who's talking, it sounds to me like he was there. He referenced his daughters. And for those of you who don't know the details of this story, it was pouring rain. And supposedly, according to the audio, Karmelo Anthony, that's the young man's name, 17 years of age, was trying to get out of the rain. He was on his phone when Austin Metcalf and brother approached him. Now, there's pictures that have been removed and scrubbed from the internet. To my knowledge, police have not released any video footage. I'm sure there's some type of video footage somewhere, possibly at this event. This was a track meet. Why would they not have cameras? Come on. I'm also not going to just take the side of Karmelo Anthony, pardon me. But I do believe that in that state of Texas, he had the right to defend himself. And I don't think he would just lash out. He was there for a track meet. Okay? So I'm not going to try and, present the case right now and then solve it. But I want you to listen. But again, this is where I got the audio from. The amazing Lucas on YouTube. And sir, if you're watching, I did send you an email. Let me know if it's okay to keep this video up. If not, again, I'll take it out after the show, right? Guys, also, showrunner. Ja Morant. I think this is my new favorite basketball player. The NBA is trash, according to many legends, many people. Shaquille O'Neal, Fat Man Barkley, and a host of others. It's trash. Oh, social media is lit. I'm sure it generates billions of dollars. But the average viewer or enthusiast is not pleased with how the game has evolved. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. LeBron James, aside from flopping, he always, to me, looks like he travels. Good evening, troll babies. Is the game different to the point where they now let you take extra steps? That threw me off years ago. But Ja Morant has introduced a new grenade celebration. Now, he was just fined for pulling out some type of, I guess, AK-47 or AR-15 when he was, not literally, on the court against the Golden State Warriors, you know? And he was fined, correct me if I'm wrong, $75,000, and he came back with a grenade celebration where he pretends to throw a grenade and he puts his hands over his ears. I love it. I love it. The Most High, are you out there, sir? I need you or anybody. Florida Boy. Florida Boy Jay. I've got a little bone to pick with him if he's watching. I called him earlier. He didn't even tell me he was live, and I went back and I said, let me see if I'm on his show on speakerphone, and I was. I didn't say nothing crazy, but that prompted me to ask you guys a question a little bit later with regards to, young people. Okay, but we'll come back to that. All right, let me get right to the audio. Anything else I need to mention tonight? Ja Morant. Oh, my goodness. Guys, I may have to take back the nice things I said. I'm not going to be disrespectful to Stephen A. Smith, but he had the audacity within the last week or two to say Karmelo Anthony, the former basketball player, is a top 5 greatest Knick of all time. Stephen A. Smith, if such is the case, I have to ask, sir, do you smoke Woola blunts? Do you smoke Woola blunts? Do you lace your blunts with something? Again, I'm not going to call you names and be disrespectful, but no. And salute. Oh, my God. Let me just check my notes here. Salute to Mad Dog. I may play that video at some time a little bit later with regards to the lunacy of what Stephen A. Smith said, okay? All right, let's get to the video here. This is the audio. Oh, and thank you for your donation earlier. Is that Yosef? Yosef, how are you, man? Good to hear from you. Good to see you tapping in from Canada. Okay. Shalom, Yosef. That's my Jewish correspondent up in Canada. Okay, let's get to the video here of the witness who gives details, audio details, by the way, with regards to the stabbing of Austin Metcalf. Here we go.
Everybody trying to get back to their cars. It was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet at. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was a community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
Okay, you just heard the audio. What are your thoughts? Supposedly this man was there. Tried not to clown him just because he has a Southern accent. Those of you who are not from the South, And for those of you who, try to find all sorts of flaws and to discredit a person of color. You see, the dominant society has been doing that for decades, centuries, if you will, when it comes to media, news, and we've had those discussions before. Sounds real to me. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. But again, I have no proof. Thank you for your donation. Melody, how are you? Okay. And Peace Supreme, I got your cash up, sir. Thank you for tapping in. Okay, let me put this on the screen. And if someone wants to call in, phone lines open right now. Good evening, and thank you for your donation. Alex Starr, I am from DFW. Frisco is a very prestigious Dallas suburb. It's no surprise that some white boys would be feeling themselves too much when interacting with Karmelo. Well, again, I don't want to keep going back to my childhood. I had an awesome childhood, great childhood, with the exception of my older brother pounding me out for about 5 years of my life. But I went to school with, mostly white kids, and they can be very passive aggressive. And as I said yesterday, they can speak to non-whites in such a way, they take that white moral authority, get out of here. You don't belong. Go home. In the South, they used to say, get. Ooh. Do they still say that in the South? Get. Thank you for your donation. Lame dash, he says, if you have someone on speakerphone. Okay. Okay. I'll wait for Florida Boy Jay to call in if he calls in. That's my guy. But I was asking him for some information, and I said, I wonder if he put that out over the airwaves. Anyway, thank you for your donation, Lame Dash. All right. Okay, I see some phone calls coming in. I want to play one other video. Matter of fact, let me play this John Morant clip right now. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, what do you think in the live chat? I'm okay with that. I mean, that's who he is. Clearly, that young man, he's turned up. Okay. Let me get my first caller in here. Late night. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're talking about a few topics. Did you see or hear the audio? Area code 272.
Yeah, what's going on, Star? It's Qualite. Yeah, I heard the audio.
Voila.
But a Star is another audio with a lady. She said the same thing this dude just said. She said the same thing. He was under the tent.
Okay.
He was sitting there. He was on his phone. The same way this dude explained it. It was a lady that explained it. She said them two brothers walked up to him, and she said they started picking at him. He said he did stand up, and she said one of the brothers swung on him. He swung back, and he went in his bag, and that's when he pulled out the knife.
I need you to send me that audio whenever you get time, please. Quala, continue.
And I'm gonna keep it real with you. Star, there was cameras there. The problem is where they was at, it was dominating more whites. So you know how it goes. Most of these whites ain't gonna turn against white folks. They ain't gonna do that. But my thing is, it's a tragedy. But the father is talking too much, because now the father is coming out saying, respect both parts of the family. Both families is going through something. But you wasn't saying that in the beginning. You wasn't saying that until they...
Well, hang on a second, Quala. You're talking about the Metcalf twins' father?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
No, he's been talking a couple of days ago. And listen, as you should know, my mother's white. So I'm not, attacking white people. I'm trying to use what I claim to know. I'm not formally educated, but I have experience, and I have a feeling that the type of effort that was put into this situation and how it exploded. But again, I have no proof. So he's been talking, the father, Metcalf. Yes, I saw him. He says he forgives Karmelo Anthony. I saw the Karmelo Anthony's family. They have a lawyer. They're not talking. Continue.
Yeah, so here's my thing about the situation. Yes, he had a knife on him. Yes, he has the right to self-defense. He does have the right to self-defense. And at the end of the day, yes, it was a tragedy. Somebody did lose their life. But at the same aspect, y'all was jumping that kid. And he did what he had to do. Anybody else would have did the same thing in that situation. We seen George Zimmerman get off on it, and we know he did what he did. So what's the difference between what he did compared to what this kid did?
I don't have the answers.
And that's,
you know, I mean, I want to see it play out, but I want to see some video footage. Everything's recorded these days. Yes, drones every goddamn where you go into. Walmart. You're being filmed. The Home Depot. You know, and I don't like the fact that law enforcement, you know, withholds video footage and they release it when they feel it's the right time, when people have settled down. That's bullshit. Go ahead.
Now that is a CNN was just talking about that earlier today, where they I forgot the lady name from the black lady for CNN. She's saying, hey, if there was videos, release the video. Yeah. She said the rumor is speculating they have videos, release the videos. She said there's two things that's going to happen with these videos. A, one of the videos is going to validate that he was defending himself, or B, is going to show that they was jumping this kid. She said, so for some reason, if y'all saying, hey, we have audio, but y'all don't want to put the audio out, but then she said they changed, now they saying, oh, we got to get a clear cut of the videos. We can't really see it because it's raining. She said they making about 100 excuses why they don't want to put the video out. Yep. They were just talking about on CNN this morning. And John Moran, man.
Hold on a second before we go to John Moran. Hey, Heather, I got your Cash App. Thank you, darling. You said that via Cash App. So I wanted to put that on the screen. She says when a black man says in front of the police, it wasn't allegedly I did it. It was definitely self-defense. You know. Well, I want the truth, you know, but I have a feeling, and I just don't buy the story of the brother. I mean, listen, he's lost a brother, you know, condolences to the family. No rational person condones outright murder, but this may not be quote unquote murder. But hang on, before we go to John Morant Kuala, anything else with regards to what you said? You say you saw a woman who also said the same thing. As the audio I just played, can you send me that link?
Yes, it was a.
Can you send me that?
Yeah, it was a lady. It was a lady. Seeing it was on CNN this morning. It was a lady on CNN, and they blanked her face. They blanked her face or whatever. And she
send me the link to CNN. I don't pay attention to CNN, but please send me the link. I want to, you know, look at it. But I just want to say that.
So basically what she said the same thing, the audio you just played, she said exactly the same thing. She said he was minding his business on that phone, minding his business sitting there when they approached him.
Okay.
As far as John Moran, he's about to be at a league. And here's the problem with him.
Come on.
he's not the only one that does the gun and all that stuff in the league. There's other players that do it. The problem with him is you were suspended for a whole season. You were suspended for a whole season of showing a gun.
I don't think that was a whole season, Kuala. That wasn't a whole season, was it? I think
It was I want to say about the half of the season or whatever the case may be. And you lost almost like $80 million off of this. Because he signed a max.
Control babies, is Kuala accurate, or is he putting the sauce on it? 80 million? Half the season? That sounds crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So what happened is in the NBA, if you make an all-star team or you make the first team defense, offense, all right, you entitled to a supermax contract. John Moran got a supermax contract, was due for, but the problem was he missed so many games, disqualify him from the supermax.
Okay.
The problem with John Moran is he needs somebody to sit down and talk to him. He needs somebody really sit down and say, bro, you is blowing this. You is really blowing this. And that's the problem with him. That's a young team. They don't have no leadership on that team. They all young. But the problem with him is you 1 inch away from being suspended again. Okay. They gave you a warning, and they gave you a warning and told you, though, don't do it again. You turn around the next day and do something.
All right. Kuala, great to hear from you, man. I'm going to play some more video footage. Thank you.
Hold up. Hey, Star, before you go, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that Karmelo Anthony situation.
Well, hang on. I don't want to get to that just yet. I have not seen Stephen A. Smith say it out of his mouth. I do have the video. Hang on a second, which I'll play shortly if you want to call back. I have Mad Dog breaking it down about the top 5, top 10 greatest Knicks. Now, how old are you again? I forget. How old are you, Kola?
Me, I'm 42.
Listen, I don't even watch basketball like that anymore, and I'm not just going back, for the sake of going back. How many finals did Karmelo Anthony take the Knicks to? Let's just start there.
No, he never made no NBA finals.
Thank you. We'll talk later. Thank you, Kola. Thank you, man. Thank you. You see? Now, according to the analytics, which is a big part of why the game is trash. What's the name of that YouTube channel? Is it Mr. Sports? He did a deep dive and all that analytics bullshit. That's a big problem with regards to why the NBA is in such disarray. Melody, I got your donation. Okay, yes, I'm doing a late show. Absolutely. Hold on a second. 315, sit tight. I see you in the queue. Tiffany, did you get my email? I responded to your email. Holy smokes. That link you sent me to that stabbing in the UK is crazy. My God. I can't play that. Blood everywhere. Area code 315. Please watch the language. We're doing a research show of sorts. Area code 315.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm alive, sir. Where do you want to start?
I want to start with the John Morant of the previous caller just said. And I think it's interesting that everybody's making it such a big deal. He's doing fake gun poses.
I love it.
I
love it.
I'm like, come on, man. Like, it's not a big deal. I think he has enough money to go out and buy up all the blocks he needs to buy, in terms of real estate, to have, investment assets.
Well, hang on a second. How much did he lose and how long was he suspended when he was in the car, acting like he had the nines? That wasn't 80 million and a whole season. What was it? I forget.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it was that much either. So, but again, I think he has enough money and enough fame that he could leverage to, negotiate different business deals. And just, like I said, just different assets, real estate investments. So, I think people put too much emphasis on these guys in the NBA. They're just playing basketball. They just hooping. It's not that big a deal. It's not their league. They're not there to do anything, but really just, do a job. It's their job to play basketball.
I agree.
So,
and I don't mean to cut you off, but the game is trash. It's trash. And he's exciting to me. And
exactly.
And if you ask me, he's Allen Iverson 2.0. AI was running around with the cornrows, the baggy outfits. He's in the Source magazine, the crossover, and ringless. He's one of the greatest. Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts, but ringless, my nigga. Come on.
But I mean, I get it though. It's like I think the game has changed to where it's more so about being entertained. It's not about being in the ring. During the game when it first became popularized in the 80s and going into the 90s, it was about the franchise, the teams winning the rings. But now it's about entertaining kids, or people with that are kind of illiterate, that don't have high thinking capability. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
Yeah, I think John Morant is what the league needs. Everybody's talking about the NBA. It's kind of like with the WNBA, with the racism thing they did between Caitlin and Reese. They really pushed that, and it made the league more popular. You know what I mean? You have to do something to entertain the fans outside of the normal basketball play. Yeah. So I think a lot of people understand the business side of basketball. Yeah, that's what I think. People don't see the business of it, and I do.
I got to ask you one more question, sir. Now, listen, I'm a heterosexual man, right? But is it me or is that chick Molly from First Take? Is she dressed like a floozy? And I don't want to call her a whore. I don't want to. That's so. Please don't laugh. Please don't laugh. Please don't laugh.
I'm trying not to.
I don't want to disrespect her, man, because I got so much respect for Stephen A. Smith. But what is with the clear stiletto heels? They were somewhere
my
on
God.
stage, and I'm like, am I watching sports commentary, or is this like stripping and mixed in with what?
Oh man,
What is
you
that?
know, but sex sells. Sex sells. That's all it is.
Sadly.
If I had to put a guess on it, sex sells.
Okay. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Peace.
What is her name? Amali something. What is her name? Sheesh. Okay, someone sent me a donation. Thank you so much, sir. Salute. Thank you so much. Yes, folks. Snitch Network. That's my 501c3. Tax deductible donations. I do work out here. Been telling, and I've played video footage so that many of you folks can know what it is that I do. Oh, here's Tiffany. Tiffany, do you want to call in or cam up? Oh my God, she says I'm in the chat vibing. I may call in. The incident in Texas will most definitely be the hot topic for weeks to come, possibly months leading to trial. Thank you, Tiffany. That's timestamp Tiffany, guys. She's in the live chat. Ryan Simmons, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Area code 231, please. Watch the language. Leave all the profanity to me. Are you there? 231. Good evening. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm here, Star. How you doing?
Yes, I'm alive. How are you?
Star, the NBA is absolutely garbage. I think John Moran is refreshing.
Yes.
Man. It is absolute garbage. You're right. They travel too much. They carry the ball too much. They shoot too many threes. And I've been watching the league since '87, so I was 5 years old. I first watching Boston Celtics and Pistons. That's how I got into it.
Okay.
Jordan coming in later. And the game now is horrible. I played Division II. I played semi-pro.
Wow.
I coach ball.
Okay.
My son is playing Division II next year.
Nice.
It's horrible. It's horrible right now.
Listen, if I can jump in, I'm not even trying to beat up on the game. We know what the game is. Professionals and legends have already done videos. I'm excited about the grenade celebration. Can you tell me where that came from? Did he originate that? I love it. He pretends to throw a grenade into the crowd, and then that's fly nigga shit. Fly nigga shit.
But he probably got that from. I saw a movie when they did in the movie. He probably got it from a movie, but they've been trying to.
Your phone's breaking up. Your phone's breaking up. Say again.
Can you hear me, Star?
Yeah, there you go. Say again.
I said he probably got that from a movie. I've seen it in a movie once, but they've been trying to. They try to silence. They try to silence the NBA players on expressing themselves.
Yeah.
But that's what brings the emotions. That's what fans feel. Brings the emotions. It's good playing basketball and allowing your players to show their emotions. And that's what people fall in love with the game for. You see people get emotional, they see people, and that's what brings more fans to the game. So,
well, listen, I grew up in the suburbs, and ice hockey was my favorite sport for decades. I try to keep up now as much as I can, but I mean, you expect a fight so people can let off steam and aggression. You know what I'm saying? But I've never liked the way that they have NBA basketball players handcuffed, with regards to not being able to respond or say anything. Now, running up into the stands, pummeling people, that's a bit much, But,
yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
But sometimes shit goes left. But now, okay, so if you find out where that grenade celebration came from, let me know. I have to ask you about the audio that I played. Did you hear it? A witness supposedly says Austin Metcalf and his brother tried to jump Karmelo Anthony.
Yeah, I heard it, and I looked on Twitter. Twitter got more stuff on there, just doing the research on Twitter and other sources. But I mean, that sounds like typical. I don't want to say white, just typical teenage behavior when a teenager is cocky a teenager. You know, teenagers is cocky. He may be the star football player, star track player. And, you know, and I heard reports of saying that this white kid asked Karmelo to move out of his area. And I kind of like, I think that's how it would go down. He's like, oh, this kid ain't going to do nothing. We finna beat him up. And they probably did jump him.
Can I ask where you grew up, sir? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in West Michigan.
Okay.
West Michigan.
Okay.
West Michigan, I grew up in a town called Muskegon Heights, man. It's predominantly black.
Okay.
It's surrounded by white neighborhoods, though.
Okay.
You know, the white people don't necessarily act tough with the black people in this area because they kind of know, you know. But I've seen that in other areas in Michigan and there's other areas in the Midwest where these cocky white guys, you know, they never really been around black people, so they kind of think like.
Well, let me just say this, sir. You know, in my opinion, racism can be a beautiful thing. It can be a nice little wake-up call for many different cultures, not just black, especially Hispanics, Asians, Caucasians, and others. But sometimes there are valuable lessons to be learned. And again, let me just say, no one condones the killing of this young man, Austin Metcalf. You know, but hey, if the stories that are now coming out in the witnesses that he did start it, you know, set it off, if you will. In Texas, it's very different. So never mind up north.
Yeah.
In Texas, you put your hands on somebody. Florida, there's stand your ground. You have the right to defend yourself. I mean, one of the things I love about the South is that, you know, I can come out the house busting that cannon, or I can ride around with an AR-15 to protect myself. But hey, man, I appreciate the call, and thank you for tapping in.
Yeah, salute.
Yes, sir. Salute. Okay. Guys, one of my sponsors is on the screen. I have been running his banner, Heat St. Cloud. Are you calling in, sir? Call in, homie. Let's promote your music, your page. He's got a track called Get Off My Dick. It's in my community section. Let me just make sure, because yesterday I was asking you guys to go to his page and leave a comment. Do you want to call in, homie? The phone number is on the screen. Okay. Yep. Heat St. Cloud. Yep. Get Off My Dick. Let me go to his page. Okay. It's a fire new track. All right. All right, Tiffany, thank you for your other updates. All right, guys, I'm coming to the phones. Give me a second. And hey, Lydia, I got your donation. Lydia, I got to stay on topic. I know there's a whole lot of other stories going on. I might play a video with regards to Trump and the stock market surging. I was speaking to a buddy of mine recently with regards to, 401ks and things like that. He was very, very concerned. And David D. Cordova from Today's Religious Talk, he says the grenade celebration is not too bad, but for the love of God, not the shooting gesture. That's too much. It sends the wrong message. Wrong message to who? Dave, you can always call in. Wrong message to who? A culture of fucknuts? Culture of chaos? Incels? School shooters? Strippers? Give me some other names here. We got these girls, when they hit 15 years old, they're thinking about OnlyFans. They're not thinking about college. Wrong message to who? Let me go to area code 629, late night edition. Are you there? Did you hear the audio? Area code 629. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir. You have the floor.
Yeah, I was calling in. I also, like you, grew up in the burbs and around a lot of white people. And as soon as I heard the story, I related to it with knowing one thing about white guys is they like to fight. Like, yeah, when you're in that environment and you're like they're violent. And so when I heard this story, the first thing that came to my mind was something about this had probably something to do with a white girl. It is this guy, the one of the twins that was stabbed. He probably had
a girlfriend or something that the black guy either liked the black guy or something like that. And that is where it stemmed from. And later on, when the story first came out, I saw in the comments somewhere, someone that's from that area said that they had gotten into it a week before that, right? Did you hear anything about that? That they had
Well,
that was why he came there with the knife in the first place.
There's a lot of misinformation, speculation, if you will. I kind of want to stick to this audio that we have because there have been reports. Hang on a second. I think it's my Santonio. I got to check my source here. Pardon me. The police department, pardon me, is acknowledging that there's fake accounts, people that were impersonating the chief of police on April the 3rd, and other, trolls, if you will, trying to add sauce to this. Now, it's a tragedy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I really want to address, coons. We got a lot of niggas cooning, and they're now overly concerned about white tears, whereas niggas die every day, right? Niggas die over dirty poultry and refried rice. Let alone if you step on my brand new Jordans. Oh, nigga, I'm gonna kill you. You can catch hot slugs for stepping on a nigga's brand new pair of Jordans. So let's stick to the audio that you heard. What are your thoughts? Does it sound credible to you?
It sounds very credible to me that's another trait that I noticed within them. I myself have had several times back in my past where white guys have tried to jump me. Like that's a thing that they do, especially if you're in an environment where you're one of the few black guys that's around. That you're gonna get some smoke from them. That's just what it is.
Have you ever been jumped?
So I definitely believe that.
You've been jumped?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In middle school at a movie theaters by a group of white guys. Yes. Over a girl.
Yeah, I've never been jumped. I've actually organized white kids, to jump black kids, to be honest with you. growing up in a town called Scotch Plains. And then, later on in life, I mean, not to make this about me, but I've never been jumped. I've always, found a way to, manipulate the situation. Thus the reason why.
Yeah,
That's the reason why with this, tragedy, again, I'm not just buying that this kid, he was under the tent and he just pulled out the knife in the pouring rain and stabbed somebody. But go ahead and finish up. And if you want to address John Morant, please do.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that, yeah, I have been jumped before. And like I said, that's usually a go-to. So that story is that the guy said on the recording is something that I definitely could have seen it going down like that. And the guy was defending himself. And if that situation or there's anything true about what happened before that, I could see why, because a lot of people are making it like, well, he was guilty anyway, because why would you bring a knife? You already had premeditated, you knew you were going to do that. But I look at it from if they had any issue beforehand, he brought that knife for protection because he knew that these brothers, he already had a problem with them, with the twin brothers, and that they might, he might have to defend himself against them. So I'm just, interested in seeing if they said there is some video that's out there. I would not be surprised if we seen a video that they did try to jump him.
Can we go back for a second? When you were jumped by the white kids, you said middle school or elementary school? I didn't catch that part.
Oh yeah, they caught me coming out the movie theater, and it was also.
How bad did they beat you? Keep it real. How bad did they beat you?
They actually didn't. They actually didn't beat me that bad.
Okay.
Just because the police, there was a police that always used to circle the movie theater everyone.
But they put hands on you. Yes, they put hands on you.
Oh yeah, they put hands on. It was like 4 of them. And they
were you dating a little nigger lover? Keep it real. Why did the wife?
As soon as I came out the door,
sir.
As soon as I came out the door, of the movie,
sir.
Yes.
Why did they put hands on you? Were you running around with a little nigger lover?
One of their girlfriends had a crush on me and had been flirting, and he wasn't having that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
I appreciate the call, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Folks, this is the objective perspective. You can speak freely, you know. I let my friend, White Boy Rory, and others speak freely. Florida Boy Jay, where are you? I need to talk to you about Ja Morant. and when I called Florida Boy Jay earlier, he's got me on speaker and didn't tell me on his live I was on speaker. I mean, I didn't say nothing crazy, but I went back and I said, did he have me on live? Sean, I got your donation, sir. He says, did you get my email about Zion? I'm going to get to it right now, sir. Hey, Pamela, how are you, darling? Oh, my God. Somebody says if Ja Morant gets traded, they're going to have to change the gun laws in that state. Why? Why? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Is that who I think it is? Gene Richmond, a.k.a. number 9, tapping in late night.
Good evening.
How are you, man? Good to hear from you.
I'm great. What a pleasure it is to be on the Star Report late night.
Thank you for tapping in. Where do you want to start?
Thank you for having me. Well, I just want to talk about the violent death of the young 4.0 GPA Christian community volunteering young man who lost his life to a black thug.
Okay.
Let's be honest. There's an overt level of black criminality in America today.
Please.
White boys are not running around jumping blacks. You know, if it is, those numbers are minuscule. But we do see TikTok videos and videos on the internet of blacks, you know, wilding issues, you know, acting out of control, attacking people, knockout game. Remember that a couple of years ago? That was a lot of black kids doing that. And
I loved watching videos like the knockout game. Go ahead.
Right, of course. Which has desensitized you and desensitized the nation of youth. But also, like we understand that there's an overt level of black violence and criminality. This young man was, like I said, a 4.0 GPA, a member of his church. His family were active Christian members. These were good kids and in a good community. And from the reports that I saw, they were well engaged, no issues of trouble, no issues of bullying, no issues of violence. Everyone who the news outlet spoke amazingly exceptional commentary about this young man. This black kid was a thug who brought a knife to a rally of sorts, a game where other high schoolers are there, families are there, people are there, engaging on what was supposed to be, you know, a quality evening. And from what we understand, it was a verbal altercation, and this thug stabbed this young man, and he died in his twin brother's arms. And, you know, these are the reports that are coming from, you know, the news outlets that we have thus far.
If I can jump in, Gene Richmond, and I appreciate you laying out all of that. Did you hear the audio that I just played?
I did.
Your thoughts?
I did hear the audio.
Your thoughts? Your thoughts?
Again, that doesn't change my stance.
Okay.
Like you said, there's a lot of information out here that, you know, there's full commentary, audio being put out. And I'm not saying that the audio isn't valid, but what I'm understanding is we're going to get different versions now. We had an initial story, and as the weeks go by, we're going to see different versions of stories. You're going to see new witnesses just appear, so-called witnesses. But the initial story and the main story, from what we understand, is that this was something that was escalated to a point that did not need to happen.
Right.
And this is indicative of an even bigger problem.
Okay.
Like I said.
Can I respond? And for those who don't know, this is my friend, Gene Richmond. He's of Haitian descent, but he's an American, all right? And
I'm American first.
You're American first.
American first.
Now, everything you've just listed, does not compare to the mass murders of Christians going back to the, oh my goodness, the Great Crusade. So when you say a Christian family, that means absolutely nothing to me. Good Christian family. And also with regards to this young man who, put hands, clearly, according to multiple reports, even his own brother said he grabbed him. He rolled the dice, wouldn't you say, with his life? He rolled the dice. Is that fair to say?
Well, yeah, it is fair to say.
Okay. If I can just finish my thought as I allowed you to speak. You kept making reference to a thug. Well, there's no greater thugs in North America than the ones who created bombs. We can go back to the Manhattan Project. We can talk about incels and school shooters who really cause havoc. What was that in Las Vegas? That white guy shooting out of the window at the country concert. I forget the artist's name. So all the blacks tussling, fighting, killing over chicken wings and pork fried rice in the goddamn hood do not compare to natural born killers. And half my family is Caucasian. So, I mean, listen, I'm straight down the middle here with it. But with regards to the audio, I know it does not mean anything to you. But what are you hoping for? Are you hoping for this young man, Karmelo Anthony, to spend the rest of his life in the penitentiary? His father's, Austin Metcalf's father has already forgiven him. You're a Christian, so what should happen to Karmelo Anthony? Please.
Well, I think Austin Metcalf's father is indicative of what the bigger problem is. He's a part of it. It's this white fragility and this white guilt that puts them in a position not to speak the truth about black violence, black criminality in America. If you look at interracial crime, meaning black on white, white on black, it pales in comparison, because the black crime aspect is the numbers are far higher than white on black crime. So yeah, we understand about history, we understand these things, but we're talking about what's happening today. We're talking about what's happening right now, and whites are not running around killing blacks. That's just
no. They're shooting up schools. They're shooting Hispanics, Mexicans, anybody that gets in their way. That's who Caucasians are killing. Asians, they're running up into the schools. They're mowing down children in your state, Connecticut. We won't talk about that, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure that the playing field is somewhat even, even though it's not. But so what do you think should happen to Karmelo Anthony? You didn't answer that.
And there are niggas shooting each other in the hood. Okay. That being said,
regular shit.
I think Karmelo.
That's regular shit.
Regular shit. Correct.
Niggas gonna keep on dying, and that's nobody's business. But what should happen to Karmelo Anthony? Please.
I think Karmelo Anthony should be tried for first-degree murder. And yeah, absolutely, because I think that young thug had a sinister intention in his mind to bring that knife there to that event. I think he should be kept in prison without bail and tried by a jury of his peers and sent to prison for life with the possibility of parole. I'll be kind.
Choo choo. Do you remember that?
I'll be kind for that.
Choo choo. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Hang on. Do you remember that old sound I used to make on the old Star in the Morning show? Choo choo.
Yeah. Every time I talk, choo choo. Every time I talk in the background, choo choo. They're trying to.
And what does that sound represent? Choo choo.
Yeah, a coon train.
That's the coon train that you're on right now.
That's the coon train that I'm on. You say that I'm on. But Americans know what's happening. Americans know what's happening in their backyard. Choo choo. Oh yeah, choo choo. Exactly. Choo choo. Americans.
Listen, I may be half a cracker, but my father told me back in 1972, boy, with the exception of your mama, don't you ever shed no tear for a cracker. Now, I can I can sympathize with the Metcalf family, but clearly he tried to write one. Not the wrong one, the right one. Go ahead and land your plane, sir. Gene Richmond.
Well, he did. He tried a right one. He tried a very violent young man. He tried a very violent young man
right one.
Who made the decision.
Yeah.
Who made the decision to take his life for something that didn't call for that.
Yeah.
For something that didn't call, and this is, we're going, as you see, there's a great divide. You got blacks sending money in saying that he's some kind of race hero, and you got whites coming to the reality of this experiment just is not working. This black-white experiment is not working, and everybody is waking up to the reality. It's just not working. There's, like I said, there's this high level of black criminality and black violence that goes on, especially from blacks to whites. It's just, if you do the research, the numbers are astounding.
Per capita and all that bullshit.
Yeah, per capita. The numbers are astounding.
No, the FBI stats. If
I want to go deep. I want to go deep inside. I want to go all the way deep inside and expose this truth.
Pause. Now,
I want to think.
Number 9, before you go, is Luigi a hero? Luigi?
Oh, Luigi's a psychotic killer. And I hope they put him under the jail. This is a man who stalked and murdered an innocent man because of some bizarre rabbit hole that he was down. Even he couldn't explain why he did it. His manifesto was all choppy and strange. Luigi should be put away in a dungeon and never be seen again.
Okay.
Be executed.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay. I have to take other calls. Great to talk to you, my friend. We'll catch up tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gene Richmond, a.k.a. number 9. Project Aries. Or Aries? Pardon me, I don't have my contacts in. I believe it's a conspiracy star. The do-rags today seem to slow down brain development, making it difficult for young black children to read. This causes frustration that leads to violent behavior. No, sir, young black children just don't want to read. They can read, but they choose not to. It's different cultures, are interested, fascinated, if you will, by different things. I published a magazine for over 7 years, and I've dealt with advertising agencies and all sorts of things. And, it's deep, certain cultures prefer sweeter soft drinks. Certain cultures prefer Instagram so that they don't have to do all that reading up on X, formerly known as Twitter. But thank you for your donation. My main nigga on the trigger, Florida boy Jay, who had me on speakerphone when I called him earlier.
Hey, the police work was rubbing off low key, man. But I let the conversation flow at first, and I see is this, what type of call that was as far as okay, this, we talk about regular shit. We wrapped it up. I'm my bad. My bad. I was just going with the flow. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gassed. I wasn't like, oh, we just had started a lot. We just move with the show. My bad. Okay. I didn't tell you. Okay. I didn't say, hey, we live. I didn't say we was live.
Yeah,
I was live.
I would prefer in the future just say, Star, I got you on speaker. I mean, just in case I decide to go in a different direction. But anyway, when I called you earlier, I was saying that the amazing Lucas, which is where I got this audio from, guys, please go to his platform. I emailed him to see if it was okay that I used his video. If I don't hear back from him, I'll delete it out after the show. But yeah, man, did you find another link, or should I just play this one again? Florida Boy J.
No, you can play that link. That was the clearest one right there that you had. There's not going to be a clear one than that one.
Okay. I got to ask you about Ja Morant first. I love the grenade celebration or grenade launch. Can you give me any type of history? I think it's exciting. Are they going to make him stop that too? What do you know about the grenade launch? Ja Morant.
Yeah, I think this is an original idea from him. I've never seen another basketball player launch a grenade in the crowd or on the court, blow it up after a shot.
Okay.
I've never seen it, but I don't understand what the issue of the image is, because the funniest thing and the most the most thing that puts the hypocrisy on the situation is this: we have white basketball players who their names are, or their nicknames are done references, like Austin Reeves, number 15 for Lakers.
Okay.
His nickname is AR-15. White boy. Los Angeles Lakers. I just had to get some water. But white player for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's really emerging as one of the most improved players this year, Star. He's like the third here for the Lakers behind Luka and LeBron.
Okay.
His nickname is AR-15, referencing a gun.
Okay.
Or back in the day, we had a Russian player named Andrei Kirilenko, and his number, he wore number 47. His nickname was AK-47. So why can't these white players be named after semi-automatic rifles?
Because they're white. Because they're white. Okay, so is he going to be fined? Is there a new investigation? It's trending. John Morant doing the grenade celebration. I should play it again if people didn't see it. Is he going to be fined again, Florida Boy Jay? What do you know? I think his call dropped out. Am I on mute? Did your call drop out? Florida Boy Jay. Okay, he dropped out. Call back, or do you want to cam up Florida Boy Jay? Let me know what's going on. All right. Guys, hold on a second. Someone sent a donation in. Thank you. They said, Star, can you play the audio again? Most certainly. Thank you to the young lady. And I don't see your donation in front of me, but let me play this audio one more time, guys. And there's my Zelle information. Some of you ask about Zelle. I appreciate your support. This is, again, from the amazing Lucas on YouTube. Posted a video roughly 5 hours ago. So this is where the my source is coming from. Okay, hold on. Let me take my time here. John Morant. Here we go. All right, Florida Boy J, I'll get you in a second. I see you now tapping back in. Make sure the audio is okay.
It was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
Okay, I just played the audio again. What are your thoughts? Salute to the amazing Lucas on YouTube. That's where I got the audio from, okay? Florida Boy Jay, do you want to cam up? If not, I will bring your call back in. Give me a second. Someone just sent in a Zelle donation. Hey, Evelyn, let me get Evelyn on the line. I appreciate your support. Evelyn's out there in Long Beach, California. Evelyn, thank you for your support. Are you there? Late night, Evelyn?
Hi, how you doing, Star?
Evelyn, I'm alive, baby. What's cracking? I'm alive.
After your caller that you just had on, I said I wasn't going to call in, but I had to do it. I had to do it, Star.
Gene Richmond, number 9.
Yes, I mean, I know he's your friend and everything, and I'm new, calling your show and everything, but I like your show. Some people spend their money on coffee and stuff like that. I don't drink coffee. I said, let me go on and give some money to start.
Thank you, darling.
But anyways, I can't believe it. He say he's half a Haitian.
Well, he's American first, and he's as serious as colon cancer. He's not trolling. That's Gene Richmond, a.k.a. number 9. He's as serious as colon cancer. Go ahead.
This young man, if he was in that tent trying to just get out of the rain, sitting there on his phone, minding his own business, and then the white boy, we can look at the two pictures and see that the white guy is way bigger than he is.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he's got an exact twin brother. Are they identical twins?
Well,
we know that?
You can see pictures and video footage of the two. I guess they were born minutes apart, so that constitutes as twins.
No. I meant was they? No. I meant was they like the same size? Have the same girth or whatever.
Pretty much. So there's a strong possibility that Karmelo, who was thin, a track runner, he probably felt in fear for his life. I got two big brolic white boys, and hey, I got to get the poker out. You either get the poker out or get duffed out. That's old terminology. Duffed out.
You're not gonna just work me over like that.
Yeah.
And maybe he did. Maybe he meant to stick him, but he probably did not mean to kill him.
Right. Yeah.
He meant to get him off of him.
Yeah.
You understand? I know he didn't mean to kill him.
He asked one of the police officers, was Austin okay? And then a cop informed him that he was deceased. So he did ask, is he all right? Go ahead, Evan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I said I can't believe that boy he wanted to kill that boy, but he was not going to take an ass whooping from him out there in front of all those people, him and his brother.
Right.
And I think he acted accordingly. And you know what? Really, to tell you the truth, I don't even think he should be in jail. I think that they should have are they minors? They should have went ahead on and let his parents take him home under their supervision until he was time to go to court.
Both boys one was 17. I thought he was 16, but they're saying 17. And Karmelo Anthony is 17. So technically, I don't think that they're minors. And somebody did die, so you do have to be arrested. I mean, to be fair, but
no, you could be arrested, but they also can let your parent. If you're not grown, they can let your parent take you on home. You're going to be under arrest at home. Now, they could do that.
Hang on. Evelyn, you're close to my age, and you're in California, right?
Right.
Okay. That sounds hot out in California and up north, but we talking Texas, okay? A white person died, goddamn. We know it's 2025, but a white person's dead. Somebody's got to be locked up. Oh, you're black. Yeah, let's lock you up. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, that is, it is in Texas. But I have to say this too.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that was on the phone, he didn't see all them killers at the Capitol. He didn't see all them F-150 trucks at the Capitol. He didn't see none of that.
Yeah, he saw it
at all. And then he say he's a half of a Haitian, and they still making Haiti pay right now for standing up for themselves and saying we want to be free and we not gonna be a slave no more.
Right.
You mean to tell me that he is saying this? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
I know you say.
Hang on, Evelyn, he just sent it a donation. He's on the screen right now. He says, what is he saying? The man on the recording is a black FBA fiend. Not friend, fiend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still talking crazy. But listen, Evelyn, I got to take other calls. I appreciate
Okay. All right, Star. Thank you very much for accepting my call.
Great to hear from you. Take care now.
Okay. All right.
That's Evelyn tapping in. Gene Richmond still going hard in the paint. Yeah, free Mello. I said that yesterday. Free Mello. Where's Florida Boy Jay? Is he calling back? FBJ, do you want to cam up, or you good on the line? Your call dropped out. Florida Boy Jay.
I'm just cool. I'm just cooling on the line right now. I'm just doing some edits from the show. I'm talking to you right now.
Okay.
Dropping some clips right now. But yeah. So you wanted to talk? I was talking about the hypocrisy in American sports, and especially in the NBA, with how we had, even going back in the day, we had Pistol Pete. You know what I'm saying? Pistol Pete Maravich. You know what I'm saying?
You're going back. You're going back too far. Most of the young people today don't even know who that was.
Right, but that's why I brought up. Austin Reeves, who's currently playing, and then I brought up Andre Karolinko, who played in the early 2000s. Where, like I said before, you have these white players that have gun reference nicknames, but then black players or just Ja Morant, he can't have this gun celebration. And at the end of the day, we celebrate gun culture. I understand he's in a city like Memphis and in the stupid things he has done, but for a league that, like I said before, profits off of guys with these nicknames and their marketability soaring with catchy nicknames and phrases that go along with that, for white players to profit off that, and you're penalizing and costing Ja Morant $75K for doing that. Now he's doing bomb celebrations to pretty much, laugh in the NBA's face. Because just like when they told him last week, hey, don't do it again, and he did it the next game. But then
hang on a second. No, he didn't do it again. He did something different.
No. I'm saying last week. I'm saying last week when he got fined. That's when he got the 75 because he did it back-to-back games after they told him don't do a gun celebration the first game.
Hang on.
I'm saying
he pulled out. He did the gun celebration the day after. I didn't see that. Are you sure?
No, I said last week when he led up to the 75K fine was him being defiant against the hypocrisy, and the bomb was another example of him being defiant against the hypocrisy.
Well, hold on. No. They told him not to be holding up the guns like the Glocks. What he did against the Warriors, that was an AK-47, something different. To be technical, that was something totally different. So they then fined him $75K, correct?
Correct.
Different guns. So then he has now
the gun gestures.
He took the $75K fine, and then he came back with the grenade. That's different. I'm just trying to be accurate.
Right. No. I know those are, a grenade and a gun, so they're different things. I was just saying I was saying the two gun incidents and the grenade are his low-key saying F the league and you guys trying to cost me money. Like I said, when there's other players profiting off of gun reference nicknames. I was agreeing. I was just saying these incidents are all like his silent protest or him rebelling against the league, standing against him doing these gun celebrations.
I mean, listen, today's basketball much better than me.
It's hypocrisy, yeah.
I think that's just who he is. He's young. He's high strung. He's like David Lee Roth from Van Halen. You knew he was high strung, and that's what you appreciated about him on stage live. He was just, he was out there, and I think that's who Ja Morant is. But now, hang on a second. Are they even talking about putting him out of the league? That was talk once upon a time.
Yeah, they're not going to put him out of the league for these celebrations. But one of the things that is not a cultural, is a cultural disconnection. If you a YN for real, like the young nigga shit, like you really know, like they're going down in the classrooms or they're walking down the street or, they down the hall and they walking by, they do the fake guns at each other. That's what they do. In Jacksonville, Chicago, like they do the fake guns. They shoot each other at their friends or whoever. It's a cultural thing. So Ja Morant comes from that. So it's like the NBA, you're trying to stop something that is like niggas dapping back in the day.
Right,
like you're doing,
right.
You're trying to intervene in the you're trying to intervene in the subculture.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
You're trying to stop my swag. You're trying to kill my vibe.
Yeah, kill the flow, exactly. Just like trying to tell AI to cover up the tattoos. Like, nigga, this is me. I gotta wear the braids. I gotta do me.
Right. Hold on a second. Someone sent it a donation. Is it Percy? Percy says number 9 people. Number 9. Okay, peoples. He meant to say fled to the U.S. So we know there is no fight in him. Okay. Thank you for your donation. All right. So you heard the audio with regards to the alleged witness. What are your thoughts, Florida Boy Jay? Because you and I were talking as we do earlier today, and you were on X you were going in on behalf of Karmelo Anthony, yes?
Yeah, on behalf of Carmelo Anthony, FBAs, Black Americans in this country, who, like I said before, who've watched white people along the line. Like I said, it's not about Black people being violent. We're not violent. The crimes, other people are talking about, or, people going out there, then they're going to commit a crime against whoever they see. That's not a comparison of somebody going to a Buffalo and targeting Black people, or going to a church targeting Black people. We don't have a Black mass murder going into predominantly white places and gunning 12 to 6 to 5 to 4 of them down, to 8 of them down. That's not happening. So you can't compare that as far as targeting racial violence. That's not equivalent, because when you talk to these people, they want to have it both ways. At 1 minute, you're the most violent people. And then when you start roasting them on facts, then they want to start talking about hangings and going back to slavery. And it's like, oh, so you are the most violent. So you are the animals. You are the real criminals and the real villains, right? It's not us. It's not us, it's you guys. Yeah. So they want to have it both ways, and it's a very easy straw man argument to break down.
Can you stay with me for a second, Florida Boy Jay? Someone is on. This person has been on hold for a while. I don't want to keep them on hold. Area code 440. Are you there? Good evening. We're talking about a few different topics. Please watch the language. 440.
Yes. Hello, Star. Can you hear me?
Is this who I think it is?
Yes. It's Boris.
Boris, how are you, man? Where do you want to start, sir?
First of all, I'd like to chime in with the celebration. I believe that Ja Morant has usurped the celebration of a Mortal Kombat trilogy character by the name of Stryker.
Okay.
He has he has a very distinct move in which he throws a grenade at his opponent. He turns around, crouches, covers his ears, and then he imagines that it's a bomb blowing up. That's my opinion.
I love it. Come on.
Yes. The other thing that I wanted to say, Star, I salute FBJ. I have heard what he said, but I think, and he brings many good points to the show. However, I would like to give a little bit of pushback, because I think that he is missing context in which because I heard he mention how AR-15 and AK-47, aka Andrei Kirilenko, they're allowed to use those names without being demonized.
Okay.
But the thing that he is missing, I would like to draw a comparison.
Go ahead.
There is a famous footballer, soccer player by the name of Vinny Jr. One of his celebrations, he covers his eyes and he points blindly at the crowd, shooting. And for context, he is black. He has many tattoos. He has a mohawk. Nobody is giving him pushback because he is known for his cheesy smile and samba dancing. He is not threatening. There is another famous footballer by the name of Muhammad Salah. One of his celebrations, he takes a bow and arrow and he shoots at the crowd. He pretends to shoot them with a bow and arrow. Nobody says anything because they know that he is a devout Muslim. He tends to bow down and pray upon scoring.
Okay.
It's all about context. Ja Morant has a bad reputation. Please do not forget that he was the same person who beat up a 17-year-old. He threatened him with a gun. Yeah. Do not forget that his mother called him to the mall and he said, I'm going to find out when you clock out your shift because you took care of 2 white people ahead of my mother. Okay. Do not forget that he pointed a red beam at the Pacers personnel when his friends were attending a game. He has built himself a bad reputation and the league has had enough of his shenanigans. Also, to correct Kuala, he has missed 25 games. He was fined $303,000 per game, which adds up to be 7.6. I do not know where he got 80 million from.
Wait, yeah, he said 80 million. I said, whoa, that's but
No. 7.6 in fines and in potential earnings lost, it was about 50 to 60 million.
Okay.
What else did you mention? About LeBron James, you said that he travels. Yes, Star. Everybody travels.
Hang on.
Everybody carries the ball.
Hold on, yes. Boris. Now, LeBron James is one of the best. Clearly, I'm not saying he's not, a worthy champion. But I just, I said, is it me? Like a decade ago, I said, is he traveling? Then I kept watching him do it. And I said, well, maybe they changed the rules and they allow more steps now. So what are you saying to me? I didn't see what I thought I saw. What are you saying, Boris?
No, I'm saying to you that the rules were made for the inferior players, and they were meant to be broken by the superior players.
Okay.
I give you another example.
That makes sense.
There is a player by the name of Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Right.
In 2021, he was being compared to Ben Simmons because they're both tall and big in stature. They're large hybrid players. They can play the forward, the center, and the point guard position. The league was fed up with them taking their sweet time at a charity stripe. If I counted this week and last week, Giannis he never beats the 10-second count, meaning he takes more than 10 seconds to shoot a free throw, but they're not going to be in his ear because he puts butts to seats.
Hang on a second, Boris. Florida Boy Jay, do you want to respond to anything that Boris has said thus far? FBJ.
Yeah, which he did have some valid points with John Morant's background, but at the same time, this isn't the UK. This isn't another country overseas where people get stabbed to death because you can't have guns, or people got to fight. This is America, where people run around with gun license, where people don't even have to get a gun license. You can just go buy a gun in Walmart if you want to. It's a different culture over here. Right. We don't. We have a way more understanding culture. Like I said, we have cowboys, we have baseball players, football players with gun collections. We have a bunch of people with gun collections. I mean, this isn't anything new. And what John Morant did, even though, it was wayward, like I said, those are valid points, but he did not shoot anybody. He did not pistol whip anybody. No. All he did was act like a idiot with a lot of money at his age, and it is what it is. But just because you did that and you already paid your fine does not mean that the white fans have to feel uncomfortable or threatened when he's shooting threes after he entertains you with a ball. When you're paying money to see him, let him get in his groove. Okay. Like I'm gonna lay my plane like this. Players, when they used to when they put the NBA dress code, like when Allen Iverson had to start coming in wearing suits, and you start messing up these players' grooves, you're knocking them off, and that's you're watering down the game even more.
Right.
You start doing that.
Okay. Hey, Boris, let me ask you this. Stephen A. Smith. I mean, I don't want to go too far left from
I want to touch on that too.
Yeah, from what we've been discussing. Did he really say Karmelo Anthony is a top 5 all-time great of the New York Knicks? Did he say that?
He did say that, but you need to understand that SAS, Stephen A. Smith, is engaging in shock jock in his channel, and if you Google Karmelo Anthony,
I'm not, because Karmelo Anthony, to me, I mean, I try not to be too disrespectful.
No, I meant to say, I was trying. Yes.
Go ahead.
I was trying to figure out why Stephen A. Smith would list Karmelo as the 5th best player in Knicks history. He most likely got his list from clutch points.
Possibly.
And they list Karmelo Anthony over there as the number 6 greatest Knick. And you need to understand that the Knicks haven't won since the early 70s. The greatest Knicks player on that list is Patrick Ewing.
Oh,
you understand?
Okay. Well, then let's throw the whole list away. All right, listen. I want to get back. I want to get back to the topic here. Let's finish up, Boris, either with John Morant or the witness with regards to Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony. Can you land your plane, Boris?
If I may, yes, I will. I would like to land my plane by saying this. I told you I'll be back. Luka Doncic is the first player since Wilt Chamberlain to drop 45 points for and against the same team in the same season. That's all I want to say. White boys going crazy.
Hey, good to talk to you, Boris. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Florida Boy J, do you want to hang on?
Yeah. Definitely, because I did want to touch on the other topics too. And then Luka did drop 45 tonight.
Stay there. Area code 754. You've been on hold for a little while. Thank you for your patience. Please watch the language. Are you ready? 754.
Yes, sir. What's good? Where the stars, your boy Heat?
Hey,
St. Cloud.
how are you, sir?
What's up, bro?
Yes,
I'm good.
What do you want
What
to
the
start?
business is? What's up with it? Thanks for the promotion, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, this is Heat St. Cloud.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get your information on the screen. Yeah, man. We got your banner in rotation now. Right after the show, it's going to be featured, and we got you in the community section as well. You're going on tour, you said, to open up for who? Let me get you on the screen.
I'm going to open up for Kendrick on the 26th of this month.
Really?
And in Dallas.
Okay. Okay.
So, I'm going out there, hold it down for the FBA fam and put on.
Okay.
Hopefully, some good things can, contrive from this. I'm going to record it, throw it up on YouTube and all that.
Nice.
I appreciate the support, man. A couple subscriptions went up.
Okay.
I've been doing this music thing for a minute, too, down here in Miami. So, it's like a breath of fresh air with that video right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're out of Miami, Florida Boy Jay. This is Heat St. Cloud. He's one of my sponsors. He's got a new track called Get Off My Dick. So have you opened up for Kendrick in the past, or how did this come about?
It was basically like a contest I entered. You send them, submit your video, you submit your YouTube, they see what you got going on and everything, and if they like it, you get chosen. I guess I got chosen. I was good enough.
Nice. Do you have a full-length album, or what do you have that's available for people aside from the single?
Yeah, I got if you look me up on Spotify, YouTube, and all that, I got a project called If It Ain't Hot, It Ain't Me. That's my actual first project.
Okay.
And I then kind of felt back because I'm a single father of 4. So, I was crossing my T's, dotting my I's, getting things right with my kids. And, now I'm back out.
Okay. Florida Boy Jay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Florida Boy Jay, I'll give you this guy's information after the show because both of you, in Florida.
Nah, for sure. Hey, yo, congratulations, man. That's what's up. Yeah. Shoot my info. For sure.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So
appreciate it, bro. Hey, man, I mess with you too, Jay. I listen to your podcast all the time too.
Oh man, appreciate it. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, look, man, in the future, always just email me or text me when you're on the line so I don't have to have you on hold for that long period of time, man. Just say, Star, I'm on the line.
Oh, no. Yeah, I like listening on the show anyway, man. I always listening. I work overnight. So it's like a tranquility. It's like my peace right here.
Thank you. But you are a sponsor, man. So I don't want you waiting, that period of time. Okay. But I appreciate you. Guys, please go to youtube.com/@Heat St. Cloud. And when are you dropping something new that you can send us, or do you want to send us something else we can put in the community section this weekend?
I could do that. I'm actually getting ready to do another video tomorrow. So in the next week or two, I'll be sending you another one.
Nice. Okay. Well, if you got something from
I'm trying to keep that algorithm going.
Yeah. Something from the past, send me that as well, and Amy will get that up as well. All right.
All right. Appreciate it, man. That's love.
Good to talk to you. Salute. Okay.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. Y'all be good.
You as well.
Peace and love.
Okay, that's one of my sponsors. Wait a minute. Is that who I think it is? Area code 973. Janet.
Hey, Star.
Hey, Janet. How are you? It's cracking. Late night.
Hi. I was just calling about Ja Morant.
Ja Morant.
I'm sorry about Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my thing is this. He can make all the gun signs he wants. Because you know why? This is the country of the red, white, and gun. Okay? We was made from the gun. We was united by the gun. And we beat our biggest foe by the biggest gun that was ever dropped on Hiroshima. So he can make he is a symbol of the American dream. And when he makes those gunshots, he's telling you that he will defend himself no matter what. And that is the American breed, that's the American creed. So all these people that are up in arms, that got these secret NRA memberships and guns in their house should just shut up and stop being so hypocritical. He has a right.
Hang on a second, Janet. Let me jump in. Now, you're not a basketball watcher, are you?
No.
Okay. What you're saying sounds hot. But, and Florida Boy Jay, you can jump in here if you like. Somewhere, somehow, the NBA and the Players Union became willing slaves willing. And I don't know why they allow people to sit so close to them. I mean, like right behind the goddamn players and say all sorts of offensive things. It's almost like you can't even, respond. I saw Florida Boy Jay recently, LeBron James and his family sitting somewhere, and some kids were behind him, like talking crazy. And me as a grown ass man, I say, damn, why did they agree to that? Does this have anything to do with the players' union accepting this, Florida Boy Jay? I'm really confused.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to go to the players' union, and I'm going to go to the other thing that you said. The players' union is whole ass niggas like C.J. McCollum, Chris Paul, and I want to say, and a bunch of other bum ass niggas who played for the Celtics who were part of the players' union, who signed this crappy contract a few years ago and got these niggas in this position. But it's been a long line of goofy players' union reps, president. I forgot the dude, Billy Hunter, wherever. He was cool with David Stern back in the day. Have they got the bag? Yes. But have they protected the players? I mean, no. You've seen the mouth at the palace. We've seen Vernon Maxwell go in the crowd and punch a guy. We've seen Russell Westbrook a few years ago almost go in the crowd in Utah. Utah is one of the predominantly known as one of the worst places to play at. So no, the NBA doesn't protect these athletes at all. You can't get into your games. Like I said, you are out there. You're supposed to be yelled at, heckled, and I can't do a gun gesture after I hit a bucket or a dunk or do my job.
Right.
That's like telling an NFL player after I work hard, bust my ass all week, when I get into this end zone and score this touchdown, put food on my family's plate, I can't do it. I can't dance. I'm supposed to walk off like.
But now, hang on a second. Somewhere again, they must have accepted the terms and conditions. Janet, any knowledge about this? Because you do research a lot, Janet. Did they accept these terms at some point in time? Not to respond to not to say anything on social media. I think that Kyrie Irving was really mistreated. But again, I don't watch basketball like that, so I don't know. Janet, any knowledge there?
But what I would want to do is I want to look through their contract, because my thing is I could see certain languages in certain union contracts because they are a public figure. However, when the contract impedes on their constitutional rights, one, freedom of speech, so the symbolism he could do. Second Amendment, right to bear arms, which means that, he's a proud gun owner. He's an American. So once those contracts impede on those two fundamental rights, then something is wrong. Okay. Because we're treating this man like a criminal for symbolizing what America is. Yeah. We have the United States has won its independence by the gun. We had united the country, the North and the South, back together by the gun. Yeah. We have conquered the West by the gun. We have freedom across the world by the gun. And even in some things that I disagree with, like those guns on the ground in Haiti, because the Haiti people are, I think they're trying to fight back, but not too much. And they're kowtowing. Okay. Their government is kowtowing to the United States gun. So, but my whole thing is this. This man is an American. He is showing the American symbol. That is what we have been taught. That is what we pledge allegiance to.
Janet, I hate to cut you short. I got all of that, but I think we should do a little research on why, they accept the terms and agree to this sort of stuff. Anything else you want to speak about, right, Janet? I'm getting backed up on calls here. And Tiffany, no. Tiffany, sit tight in the queue. I see you. Tiffany, sit tight. What about Austin Metcalf? Janet, any thoughts, any opinions? I played some audio.
Again, he had a right to defend himself.
Okay.
And it's like they're slowly taking away the colored man or black man right to defend themselves. So you're subjugating them to second-class citizens, as they don't have the same rights as the Caucasian man. Because had it been the other way around, and they went over there and just stabbed him for no reason, or say if they went over there to jump him, I don't know. This is what people are saying. And they hit him. He fell and hit his head. Would they be caught up on first-degree murder.
Okay.
Because that would have been first-degree murder, because that would have been intentional to harm him. And if he died in the process of that, that's first degree.
Okay.
So,
Jan, I hate to cut you. I have to take other calls. Great to hear from you.
okay.
Thank you, Janet.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, hold on. All right. And Florida Boy Jay, you good to hang out or what?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm cool.
Hey, Tiffany. Sorry for the hold. Are you there? Timestamp Tiffany.
Hey, Star, how you feeling?
Great to hear from you. You sent me a crazy video that I can't post it. Some type of stabbing in London. It was at an Uber. What was that? That was crazy.
Yeah, he jumped into the cab at the, he got, knifed up. He was knifing him up from both ends. But that's every day, occurrences in the UK.
Right.
Because that's what they do. They don't carry guns. The police, to my knowledge,
they're called the bobbies, and the bobbies have guns usually in the glove box. So if they need to come with some type of SWAT, they can bring guns with them. But the patrollers, the bobbies, or they used to be called the peelers, they don't necessarily, pardon me, carry guns. But yeah, that was a crazy video. Florida Boy Jay, I'm going to send you that. The guy's getting stabbed from both sides in the back. He's hollering. And why did the pussy ass cab driver not step on the gas?
Oh,
he wouldn't even take off.
I seen that video. Yeah, and he kept screaming at the cab driver to drive. He was like basically pleading with him.
Drive, bloke. Drive the goddamn car.
Yeah, that video went viral almost like a year and a half ago. That video went viral. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something crazy like that go down when I was over in the UK, coming from a sports event.
Okay.
And the knife and stuff came out.
Okay.
But
well, thank you.
I wanted to touch base. Yeah, I wanted to touch base on the incident in Texas. And
what are your thoughts?
Just as a parent, and I'm sure other parents can relate who have children in sports. We can handle our own, when stuff jumps off. But when it comes to sports and they starting to engage, especially with, you hate to make it a race thing, but that's exactly what it is. And you can always feel the vibe, especially when it's coming down to baseball, lacrosse, and stuff like that, where, it's an integrated thing. And they get sour about losing.
Okay.
The vibe completely changes.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine how the young man felt. You got two big husky, corn-fed kids coming after him because he had his brother's back in a moment. Yeah. It's raining. I'm, just trying to set the scene of how he felt. Right. And even if we were to reverse the color, people would feel the same way, that he had to, pull out something to stand up for himself. If somebody had you cornered, what else? What would you do? And especially if they had a history of bullying from the things that I've read up on X, because I'm tuned in just to see, the comments and just the things that people are saying, and it just shows where we are, as a society. It's not going anywhere. Like we have
racism is here to stay. Racism is here to stay. And let me just clarify in case people didn't hear me say this. I do want to see justice prevail, but I'm not just going to fall into this whole thing of, the black kid was just so bad and so dangerous and the good white kids, kids will be kids, And I really want to see some video footage here because the nation is, figuratively divided, if you will. Okay. Anything else you want to make mention of, Tiffany? I appreciate everything that you do by way of the timestamps. Any other stories that you want to mention or bring to the table?
No, that seems like, the topic that everybody, is talking about. I mean, we got the tariffs and everything that we've been discussing. Floyd J, that was cool how he covered that earlier. So I appreciated that conversation.
Yeah.
It's wild because it's like, it's the outrage, but then, it's something again that has been brought up time and time before, And now you got somebody who has the balls to actually, you know, lay the smack down, and it's an uproar. And yeah, wow, we have some people, you know, who are, you know, I guess facing the brunt of it all. But it forces us as Americans to collectively say, okay, how can we benefit and come up off of this? Can we make our own product in the U.S.?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any real resolution to this type of uproar, if you will, because, you know, we're a nation, beautiful country that it is, and I'm going to always specify that. We've been nurtured on hatred and racism, and the dominant society has programmed many people so much to the point where they will automatically look at, you know, certain groups and say, oh, they're contentious, they're bad, they're just, you know, the bottom of the barrel. But I thank you for everything that you do again, Tiffany, and anything by way of any developments, please keep me posted as you do via email, okay?
I will do. Thanks for letting me speak. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye now. Timestamp Tiffany tapping in. Luis, I got your email, and anybody else who has been blocked in that live chat, please reach out to Deeds. Her Cash App information is on the screen. Luis, I don't know why you were blocked. What did you say? You said something crazy. Huh? Hold on a second. Boy J, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
I'm responding to Luis spends money. I don't know. What did you say? What did you say? You said something crazy, man. And then more than likely, that's why Deed sat you down. But I just responded to your email. Thank you to Charlie. He says the nigga Mello is a hood legend. Well, sir, that sounds hot. But we're talking the NBA. If you're talking about Karmelo Anthony, or you talking about Karmelo Anthony from Texas, I'm not sure. Is Karmelo Anthony, the basketball player, a hood legend, Florida Boy J?
I think both are now official hood legends. If we want to be honest, I think they both are equal hood legends. But do you think that maybe you are giving the Knicks too much love by not including Karmelo in the top five? I think Boris had a great point. I mean, the Knicks are a trash franchise, and they always been trash. And it's not going to have anybody if they ever had anybody. So Karmelo Anthony being top five isn't out of this world. They've always had bums there in New York. Like anybody outside of Carmelo Anthony, outside of
no, sir. Did you say love? No, I don't show the Knicks any love. I mean, and you know, I want the Knicks to be better. New York is the number one market. I'm tired of seeing people come through the number one market, brand deals, endorsements, and all sorts of things, get the bag and not producing. You know, Aaron Rodgers, who you and I have spoken about, he's another one. He knew what New York could do for his fading career. He took the bag, produced nothing. Brett Favre as well. Karmelo Anthony, I mean, you can answer the question better than I. How many finals, how many playoffs, how many, you know, things did he do for the quote unquote Knicks other than be a volume shooter?
Absolute ball stopper in the scrub in the tub when anytime it mattered the most. So he was compared to a contemporary. He was never an all NBA. He was never an all NBA player. When he was in the league, he was never a top five player in the league. Even in his best year, he was never a top five player in the NBA.
So you're being sarcastic when you say, am I showing them?
No, I'm not. I swear to God, Carmelo Anthony was never a top five player in the NBA when he was in the league. There was never a point, and I will battle anybody who ever called it. Carmelo Anthony was never a top five NBA player when he was in the league.
I didn't understand what you were saying when you said, am I showing them too much love? No.
No. I was saying the Knicks have so low expectations and always had trash players on their team, a bunch of lunch pail guys, no real niggas, that Carmelo Anthony being in the top five isn't out of this world. Tonight we're talking about the Boston Celtics or the Lakers or something.
Well, listen, I may or may not play. I don't want to get a copyright strike. ESPN, that's a little risky. Mad Dog, he did a whole breakdown, and he went back to Willis Reed, Dave DeBuscher, Bernard King, and a host of others who
Earl Monroe
clearly, in my mind, would surpass Karmelo Anthony. But I had to say that. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to play the video. I don't want to focus on the
But Bernard King was like Melo of the 80s, though.
Were you there? You saw him play, or you just going by stats?
I'm going by. Did he win a ring? I don't know. I can look it up.
Well, if you can, please. I don't think, but Karmelo Anthony was a better player than Bernard King. But you, while you're looking it up, I'm gonna read the live chat. Number 9 says, "Is Tiffany the woman that went to Pakistan to meet the 19-year-old boy?" No, sir, she was not. She was not. Sit tight, Florida Boy Jay. While you're doing that, let me bring in area code 480. Please watch the language. Are you there? 480.
Yeah, Starter, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Who's this?
Okay, yeah. This is Kevin calling in. Hey, so I just wanted to speak on the situation about the stabbing.
Please.
Yeah, so for my thing is this. They're talking about bullying all of a sudden now, supposedly that the two brothers tried to jump him. But my question is this. If it was a track meet and the young man wasn't participating in the track meet and the school's tent that he got into the confrontation with the young man was not his school, what was he doing in another school's tent? Then on top of that, so if this was on school grounds, I'm pretty sure there's a no knife, no weapon rule on any school grounds. So why was he on school grounds with a weapon? It seems like a lot of people.
Okay, well, now hang on a second, sir, because the audio that we played, the guy specified it wasn't at a quote unquote school. That's number one. So with regards to what you're asking, I don't have all the answers. Let me just say that. With regards to the, it's already been confirmed that Austin grabbed or touched Karmelo Anthony first. So I have to ask you, with all due respect, are you on the coon train?
No, sir, at all. I'm on the west.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
No,
because,
that's a fair question. That's a fair question.
Okay.
That's a fair question. So that was new information to me that it wasn't on school grounds. So that changes a little bit of aspect of that for me, because you're not supposed to have any weapons on school grounds. But if the event wasn't on school grounds, then that takes it out of the argument. I do wonder why the young man was under the tent of a school he didn't attend, and if these individuals were bullies.
Because it was raining, sir. To answer your question, the audio again that I played broke down. They were all up under the tent because it was raining. Did you hear that part?
No, sir.
Okay.
So this is new information. So yeah. I logged into your show like maybe 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
So anything you played, I didn't hear. So that's new information.
If I can recommend, go to the Amazing Lucas on YouTube. I got the audio from him. He gives a great breakdown, and I mean, no disrespect, man, but I'm not entertaining a whole bunch of coon shit. Niggas just so upset, because some white folks, are upset, and he's a honor student. Niggas die every day, sir. Yes, right.
That's a fact. Listen, I don't care if he blue, black, or green. I mean, I don't like that a kid lost his life, but I could care less about if he white, black. Like, the color don't mean nothing to me. But I appreciate you letting me know about the new information, and I'll check that out on Amazing Lucas. And I appreciate you taking the call.
Yes,
I don't want to speak when I don't have all the facts.
Okay.
So I'll check that out. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Salute. Okay. I didn't mean to take his head off, but we got people out here dying for less. I got a classic Rolls Royce from the 80s. If you scratch that motherfucker with your car, I'm gripping up on you. I'm just being honest.
Sorry, the caller was smelling biscuits in the oven. Sorry, he was smelling biscuits in a white oven and reached for the handle.
Hold on a second.
I brought up the Bernard King stat.
What'd you get, Bernard? Now, I'm not doing a deep dive on Karmelo Anthony, the basketball player, but if I have to, I'll pull out Mad Dog, who broke it down. Go ahead.
Well, I will throw a caveat in your way. Karmelo Anthony and Bernard King both averaged 22.5 points in their career in the NBA, so that is a interesting stat. But when I'm looking at all NBA, Bernard King did make all NBA. Karmelo Anthony did not make all NBA first team. Bernard King did it twice. Melo didn't do it, but Bernard King was a 4-time All-Star. Melo was a 10-time All-Star. He made second-time more NBA. He scored more career points, played longer in the league. But if Melo is a certified bum-ass nigga, Bernard King has to be a certified bum-ass nigga because he had a shorter run, and he pretty much did the same thing at the same height. Bernard King was more of a guard. Melo played more of a 3-4, but they both were volume shooters, both bum-ass niggas when it got to the playoffs, respectfully.
I let you speak because you know basketball, today's basketball, better than I, but hasn't the league evolved since the days of Bernard King? So no, Bernard King, to most people back then, was not a bum-ass nigga. People flocked to the Garden to see him play, and there was a genuine love and support for the Knicks because the Knicks won the championship back in 72, 73. So shouldn't Karmelo Anthony have gotten at least one ring since the days of Bernard King? Since everything is, the players are so much better now, right?
No, because Bernard King set precedent to be a bum ass nigga and live off the Knicks lore of 5 years before he even got over there. And then that's why Patrick Ewing got to skate, and that's why Melo got to skate. A bunch of bum ass niggas not getting it done, sliding, thinking they Clyde Frazier. Clyde Frazier should have been putting his foot up their ass way long ago. So none of you niggas need to be pulling up a Rolls Royce and fur coat till you get a ring like me.
Okay.
This is probably what Frazier's supposed to be on.
Okay. All right. Sit tight. Nathaniel, I got your donation via Cash App. He says, tell the white man we had odds until we even. Okay. Thank you for your Cash App. Zion, I got your, hold on, guys. Okay, Zion, you sent me something on Instagram. What is this? Something to do with Zion Williams facing serious charges. I don't care about that right now, sir, but thank you so much. So something with a high yellow mammy. Did she get stomped out or something like that? I don't want to put too much stuff on the table. Rory's butt plug. I got your donation. Thank you very much. Zion, thank you again. Let me just say salute because he did send a donation. Okay, sit tight, Florida Boy Jay. I do want to play another video if you've got time. Let me put my email address on the screen if anybody else has things to send in terms of videos. Oh boy. This I want to play with regards to Trump and the stock markets. This is important, guys. I don't have the full story because I was rushing earlier today. So let me just get up to speed for those of you who also are interested in the tariffs and what's going on. Okay, here we go.
But let's start with the stock market. Soaring today after President Trump announced he is putting a pause on tariffs for most countries. Last week, of course, Mr. Trump implemented hefty tariffs on all U.S. trading partners, and the market went into a panic. But today, it surged moments after the president announced his plan to pause tariffs for over 75 countries. The pause will last for 90 days, and the administration says it will not release the list of 75 countries exempt from the taxes for the moment. What we do know, though, is China is not on that list and is now facing a 125% tariff. Our Scott Budman has been watching the stock market carefully for days. Scott, you're our human form of Dramamine, trying to calm our stomachs through this roller coaster ride. What can we tell from today?
You know, it's interesting. You say we were watching the stock market day by day for the last 5 days, hour by hour, and all of a sudden, this giant move up, Garvin, and then we check and we find out it was indeed because, as we've seen before, President Trump putting a pause on most of the tariffs. And we've seen this almost Pavlovian response from investors. When a new tariff is mentioned, the stock market dives. When a pause on any tariff is mentioned, the stock market shoots higher. And we saw that big time today. Interestingly, as you mentioned, though, the tariff on China, where we do so much back and forth buying and selling, went up, even while the stock market did as well.
No, I know you told us not to look at our 401k last week. Some people did.
Right.
But now with the stock surging again, so are we back to even? Are we back to square?
We're not. most likely, depending on where your 401k is and how risky and how much is in stocks. If you think about it, going back to last Wednesday, when the tariffs were really put strongly in place and we saw huge drops, over the next 4 days, the stock market, and I mean the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, lost very nearly 20% of its value. That's a huge drop. Today, the markets were up by about 7 or 8%. So a big jump. And a matter of fact, the biggest point jump for the Dow and NASDAQ in history in terms of pure points. But 7 or 8% is not 20%. So again, the 401k and your college funds are for long-term things here. Even in the short term, though, we're still down over the last week.
Now, President Trump fancies himself a great negotiator. And one thing you could say in this case is he came out with a huge offer in the beginning and now has dialed it back. And some would say, well, that was the plan all along. Can we tell if that was the plan all along?
You know, plan is doing a lot of work there, to be honest, in that sentence, Garvin. There was the goal that Trump said from the beginning. We're going to put a lot of tariffs on these countries to try to get something back, whether it was immigration reform or less fentanyl at the borders or a lowering of the tariffs that countries like China have on us. And so we really went full bore with these tariffs. And now the 90-day pause, he says, is to negotiate some of those things. So, okay, if that's the plan, it's working. Was it worth the gigantic loss in value that so many of us felt as an individual, not to mention as a corporation? I don't know. But the good news in all of this is we have 90 days, and they will very likely be chaotic days to figure out what these tariffs will mean.
So clearly at this point, we talked about our retirement funds. Now just talk about going shopping and prices. What's that going to mean for us? I have an idea. You're going to tell me because those China tariffs have stuck around, we're not in the clear as far as rising prices.
Right. I mean, the China tariffs go into effect immediately. That hits a lot of clothing, a lot of electronics, some car parts, some food, a lot of toys. We're already hearing some economists say that this could be felt around Christmas. I mean, that's months away. And yet, if prices start to rise now, it could affect even holiday shopping. These things do fall like dominoes. Also, the 25% tariffs on car parts, Canada and Mexico, aluminum and steel are still in place. They've been in place already. So eventually, they're going to be felt by us as well. It's the other ones that were put sort of seemingly randomly last week that really caused the stock market to fall that are now going to be negotiated over the next 90 days. But those are 90 days where I believe we will start to see some prices go up.
Okay, Scott, thank you very much for the insight.
Okay, I just had to get up to speed on that. Thank you for your patience. King Walker, I got your donation. He said, Star Mad Dog was speaking facts. Stephen A. Smith smoking bricks. Florida Boy Jay, did you see the video with Mad Dog talking about the Knicks? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't catch it. I know Mad Dog comes on as a panelist on Wednesday.
I want to play it, man. Let me just think about, how I can do it and not get a
maybe if you speed it up and we talk in between it.
I just want a second. Hold on a second. Blade, I got your email. Okay. Blade is saying, Star, you weren't crazy. Well, listen, I didn't know for certain, but I almost got suspended back in the days when I was talking about Adolf Hitler did not die in World War II. He died an old man. Thank you, Blade, for your donation. According to the New York Post, CIA files reveal the search for Adolf Hitler in South America 10 years after his suicide, alleged suicide, as Argentina prepares to release classified docs. You ever seen pictures of an old Adolf Hitler, Florida Boy Jay?
Yeah, I'm on that side of the internet. I'm definitely seeing a lot of, man, listen, dog.
He died an old man. He's living a Playboy life.
Star. Not only that, you ever heard the audio translated back to English?
Yes. I read Mein Kampf. Well, I had somebody read it to me back in the days. All right, let me find this video. Guys, phone lines are still open. I'm taking your calls with regards to the witness. Florida Boy Jay, any response, or do we just give Mad Dog the final word? FBJ.
Yeah, we could just give Mad Dog the final word. I mean, I honestly, I don't see him I think it's a good case he made. I think it's a valid case that he made. I like the players that he brought up, like I said before. I don't think that being on the top 5, I still don't think being on the top 5 Knicks players of all time list is any crazy accomplishment. Like I said, it's not like it's the Heat, the Bulls, niggas we can remember. Like, and I respect them because I wasn't in that time. And Dave DeBusschere, the people he named, great. I'm just saying, great players. Yeah. All the guys he named were great. But we're talking about pre-1980 outside Bernard King and Ewing. Like, come on. At a certain point, we gotta let it go. Just like well,
listen, I'm gonna jump in and stop you because, with all due respect, many people have already said that all this breaking down with the analytics is what has destroyed the game. That's not me, homie. That's a lot of people say that. So I'm not interested in the numbers now in comparison so much to the past. But hey, man, go ahead and land your plane with regards to the audio that I played, the witness with regards to Austin Metcalf. And did you address this on your show earlier?
No, I didn't get time to because, like I said, I was just doing the show. And then when you was like, you about to go live, I might as well just slide off and touch on these topics like tomorrow or whatever. Okay. But now that I'm looking at and heard the audio and everything, like I said before, this is just a regular case of self-defense in Texas. I mean, like I said, reasonable belief. The kid Karmelo believes that force was necessary. You know what I'm saying? They ran down on the tent that he was in. He was sitting under. Right. It was an event. If it's raining, he's able to sit under there if he's participating in there. Okay. If they came over to him, it was justified force because he believed that he was in danger. It was immediately necessary. Right. Texas has stand your ground law.
Keep me posted.
A legal duty.
Keep me posted on any developments, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
All right. Florida boy Jay tapping in.